It's not just knowing what controls, what agents aren't across your assets and getting that count. What really matters is what truly is my exposure.
Knowing what you have in terms of your assets first is foundational, and you have that with Sevco. Now layering the vulnerability and exposures and understanding your risk posture adds to the value of the product, making it more operational in terms of what do I act on first.
Sevco exposure management is really helpful because it automatically detects and prioritizes gaps and vulnerabilities in your environment.
I think it just continues to fine-tune the value that Sevco brings with your overall cybersecurity investment.
Everybody's dealing with limited budgets, limited resources, those types of things. You want validity and you want efficacy, and being able to know where things need to focus is a huge difference maker.
We've had vulnerabilities for years and years, but now I have the ability to understand truly what is that exposure. You remember that term, common vulnerabilities and exposure? Now I will know that. I will know that, which allows me to laser focus my teams to take care of those exposures. It also allows me to build better metrics for team reporting. And most importantly, it allows me to be able to really give tangible results for those executives who want to understand the risk exposure, if you will, from the assets that we have. So again, it is a force multiplier on the platform to understand now not only my assets, but where my exposure truly lies.
It really helps improve compliance and remediation. So being able to really guide your team and say, okay, this is really what you need to focus on.
One of the big benefits is it allows tracking those over time, which can help security teams audit and address risk as conditions change. It also allows better accountability for remediation teams and for security operations teams to gauge how those vulnerabilities are being responded to. Additionally, it allows remediation teams to respond faster by leveraging automations built into the platform.
I understand what truly matters. So when I look across my critical assets, those servers, now I say, okay, you told me these were patched. Now I can look and say, no, the exposure still exists. This is what's going to potentially get my organization breached. And now we know we need to laser focus on those assets and cut down on those exposures, and it allows me to report on when the exposure occurred and when it was resolved.
Understanding and prioritizing your vulnerabilities, your assets and exposure to truly have a view into your risk posture is what the board cares about. They care about business risk, and security should be presented in terms of as a business enabler, but also in terms of reducing risk posture.
It's not easy to be a CISO in a boardroom because you're talking to people that aren't necessarily going to understand all the words that we use and all the many acronyms and whatever. So you want to be able to walk into the boardroom and say, here's where the problem lies, here's the issues that we're facing, and here's the controls that we can apply. And that I think is empowering.
This really quantifies for the board what your exposures are, and it makes it real, and it can help hold the CISO accountable, which I think is another part. It gives the board the opportunity to say, hey, we know we've invested in this tool that gives us this kind of information. We want to see it.
I'll say a game changer, if you will, because again, it truly is about risk management, and the exposure management platform allows me to truly understand what matters.